Hello everybody, this is SaberX coming to you live with another brand new video review for the Beasts of the Mesozoic Ceratopsians series by Creative Beast Studio and David Silva. And today we are going to be looking at the last, the largest, the most incredible of all the 1/18th scale Ceratopsians, the adult Triceratops horridus. So here we are. There it is, and before we take a look at this most incredible figure, let's take a look at the packaging for it, shall we? So here we have the box for the Beasts of the Mesozoic Triceratops horridus, with that beautiful background, which you can take out of the box and put behind the figure for dramatic effect, and of course, on the front, we have the incredible artwork done by R.J. Palmer. The Beasts of the Mesozoic Ceratopsian series utilized the skills of multiple artists for this toy line, and of all of these, I have to say R.J. Palmer is my favorite, hands down. His work is absolutely incredible. And of course, on the back, you get the obligatory product shots and information for the toy line. And of course, yeah, all the Wave 3 figures together on the back. Yeah, and absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. All of it. Now, inside the box, along with our Triceratops figure, you also, of course, get this collectible card that comes with it, with R.J. Palmer's work on the front. And then on the back, you get the figure and the diorama that goes behind it, as well as this set of instructions for attaching the tail to the base of the hips via the ball and socket joint. And I highly recommend using a hairdryer for it. Because otherwise you might get you might accidentally break the figure, or you might accidentally hurt yourself. So again, highly recommend hairdryer, not hot water, and definitely use a hairdryer for the joints, because this one is, he's got really, really tight joints, even tighter than that of the Torosaurus I reviewed previously. But yeah, absolutely incredible figure that can pull off a number of poses, and yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Now, he also comes with another set of pieces that also go along with this, and that is an extra set of horns. Now, if we move the figure to the front like this, you can see I have the adult horns in place, and these horns, these more curved horns, are actually the sub-adult horns. Now, they do come off, these horns, like so. Just pop them off, and each one has a particular segment that matches up to these pegs right here. Now, for these, you have a left peg, which has this little segment on here, this little peg that goes on here like this, just pops in nicely. And then you have a right horn with a little groove here. You just attach that on like so. And there you have the second set of horns. Now, you can also, of course, mix and match your horns so that he's got somewhat wonky horns. You can do this with left or right. I honestly prefer to have the adult horns on him, just because I like the more mature, ferocious look of the adult Triceratops, but you can do whatever you want in regards to that. You can mix and match the different horns to just make your figure more individualized. But yeah, absolutely cool that we get a second set of horns to show off the Triceratops. On the Triceratops. He's absolutely cool. Just an amazing, amazing figure. Now, in regards to the paint scheme, which is phenomenal, by the way, it is based off a lace monitor lizard, which is a real lizard that lives in Australia. And they did that before with the subadult Triceratops figure. Only in this case, the adult is actually a bit more colorful. And you can see that in his paint. I just love how the color all just blends so perfectly together. I mean, I honestly can't see Triceratops looking any other way as a result of this. But yeah, I mean, if you look on the belly, how it fades into that cream white from the yellow, and how the kind of reddish brown, the kind of reddish rusty brown fades into this darker blackish color with the stark white and blue. It's just amazing. Just absolutely incredible. Now, in regards to joints and articulation, he of course can open and close his mouth like so, and he actually has a posable tongue inside the mouth, but I'm not going to mess around with that too much because, one, it's really small and hard to reach with your fingers, and two, it doesn't really do much in regards to the figures. You're not going to have his you're not going to be wiggling around his tongue very much, I don't think, honestly. But again, really doesn't matter. It just looks cool. Just looks so cool and realistic. Now, in regards to articulation for the neck, he can do left, or rather right, like so. And you can see he does get a gap if you turn him a certain amount. You can also do right, like so. He can move his head down about this much, move his head up about that much, and you can get quite a wide array of sorry, I'm getting tongue twisted. A wide array of poses out of this figure. He can't swivel his head on the ball joint just because of the way his neck joint is shaped, but you can get him into, you can have him wave his head and just do all sorts of stuff with his poses. Now, he does rotate about 360 degrees at the shoulder, like so. But, yeah, I don't recommend it because of clearance issues with the shoulder. His elbow, which is very tight, goes, yeah, it articulates about almost 90 degrees. I would say 85 degree angle. But very, very tight joints. And they do have ratchet joints in here just to make sure you can keep the figure in a certain pose if you want it. His wrists, he does have a bit of wrist movement forward and back. Not so much to the sides. But yeah, that's basically a more realistic, because Ceratopsian feet, particularly in the larger genera, they tend to splay outward somewhat to the side. So it looks very realistic regardless of the fact that he can't move his wrists a certain way. But yeah, just an incredible amount of motion in there. And you can get him into quite a few poses where he can stand on 3 feet dynamically without falling over. He does have he does have a torso joint that you can move right, left, down, and up, like so. And of course, he does have leg articulation. He can actually move his leg a bit further than that of the Torosaurus. But again, he can't do a full 360 with his legs. Yeah, just because he's so big. He can move his legs forward about this much, like so, and about this far back. And again, these joints are really tight. Right, so you're going to want to use a hairdryer for these. I may even have to do a second heat treatment for him just to loosen his joints up a little bit more so they don't have any clearance issues. He can move his back leg about well, his ankle back about this far, forward about this far, and of course he's got swivel in his feet. It's hard to see, but he can move his feet forward and back like this, and you can move them side to side, and you get a little bit of tilt as well. Now, in regards to this figure's quality, it is absolutely phenomenal, but early on, with the first release of the adult Triceratops, there was a problem where the left ankle joint would break on the figure, and thankfully that was resolved by David Silva himself after several people he shipped out figures to. They had some poor quality issues with that, where the ankle would break off, so he sent spare legs which you could take off and attach to the figure, and they didn't have that problem. And I'm super happy that got resolved. It just shows you how much David Silva cares about his customers, that he wanted to ensure the quality control. Now, in addition to, last but not least, he does have a tail that can move right, left, up, and down. But again, he's got very tight joints, so that might be a bit problematic if you don't heat things up. But yeah, absolutely an incredible figure. And yeah, absolutely one of my favorites. Now, I've talked about Triceratops in regards to facts about the animal before, but at the same time, I will happily do so again, just to remind people of what this animal is like. Triceratops was one of the largest known, if not the largest known, Ceratopsian that is known to science. There may have been some bigger Ceratopsians that came earlier, based on footprints, suggesting an animal about 40 feet long, but Triceratops is massive at about 30 feet long. And it was, of course, contemporary with Torosaurus and Tyrannosaurus rex, which was its main predator. And of course, we have evidence as T-Rex being Triceratops' main predator, because we find Triceratops specimens with broken horns and frills that actually show that these animals were being bitten by T-Rex. And there's some evidence that that in particular T-Rex liked to decapitate Triceratops when it was feeding on them. Bite marks around the back of the skull suggest that actually T-Rex would pull off a Triceratops' head after killing it in order to access the neck muscles, which were among the most nutritious parts on Triceratops' body. But yeah, T-Rex the Decapitator would bite off a Triceratops' head whenever it could, when it was feeding anyway. But Triceratops was no pushover. This is an animal that could easily kill a T-Rex. I mean, these horns, they are not just for show, they are for fighting. And Triceratops specimens show plenty of evidence that they often fought each other. There are specimens such as the giant Big John specimen, which is one of the largest Triceratopses ever uncovered by paleontologists, that show bony lesions and regrowth of bone around the site of the injury. They actually were fighting each other and coming away with battle scars as a result of fighting over territory, food, or mates. And Triceratops itself was very interesting in that it also had a very poor sense of smell, but at the same time it probably had very good vision, and it kept its head generally at a 45-degree angle in order to both graze on plants and to show off its frill and horns most effectively. There is also evidence, courtesy of a newly published study that came out about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago at the time this video is being made, of Triceratops actually being ectothermic, that is to say cold-blooded. And that was discovered to be the case by a group of paleontologists who were studying how much oxygen animals consume when they breathe in order to formulate what their metabolism was. So from looking at this, they actually discovered that Triceratops had a similar metabolism to modern reptiles, as opposed to T-Rex, which had a metabolism similar to modern birds. So, in other words, T-Rex was warm-blooded, Triceratops was cold-blooded, and it seems like ornithischian dinosaurs such as Triceratops and Stegosaurus, which was also included in this study, they actually were ornithischian dinosaurs like Triceratops and Stegosaurus, they were actually cold-blooded, while things like Tyrannosaurus rex and Brontosaurus and Brachiosaurus were actually warm-blooded. So, fascinating to think about. And Triceratops was also a herd animal from what paleontology evidence has uncovered. It would have lived in groups of, I believe, 5 to 10, according to studies by paleontologist Denver Fowler. And yeah, just absolutely incredible animal. And I hope we get to learn a lot more about it in addition to that. Now, in regards to size, this figure is approximately 18 inches long. Actually, no, scratch that. He is 19 inches long. Yeah, he's about 19 inches long from the tip of his horns to the end of his tail. And he is about 8 inches tall at the top of the frill. So, very, very big figure, and he's very, very heavy. But in addition to this, let's compare him to a whole bunch of figures, starting with this subadult Triceratops. As you can see, this subadult Triceratops, yeah, it's nowhere near as big as the true adult right here. I mean, it's absolutely huge. I mean, look at that. But yeah, compare that as well to the 6-inch long Zuniceratops, which is absolutely minuscule next to this figure. Just tiny. And of course, here's a 10-inch Cosmoceratops. Again, no real comparison. Just gigantic. Same is true if you use a 14-inch figure like this Styracosaurus for comparison. Just absolutely gigantic. And compared to another giant Wave 2 figure, the Centrosaurus, which in this case is 1/13 to 1/15 scale, and would probably be a very large individual for its species, if these were actually life-size. But this Triceratops figure is absolutely insane in regards to size compared to the Centrosaurus. This adult Triceratops is absolutely monolithic. And none of the other figures except the adult Torosaurus, none of these figures come close except for Torosaurus here. Yeah, but absolutely monstrous figure, and definitely the largest of the bunch. Now, in regards to price, he is, without a doubt, alongside Torosaurus, the most expensive of the figures. He is about $140 on CreativeBeast.com, which is where I got him. Just a massive figure. Now, we are getting a limited edition Cyberzoic variant that's green for Triceratops, and that's going to be about $144, I should say. But yeah, definitely one of the most expensive figures in the line. If you can get this figure, I highly recommend you do so. If you want to save up for it, that's great too. But if you want something a little bit smaller, the subadult Triceratops is also equally good for you, because that's more, you could actually substitute it as a 1/35th scale adult Triceratops. But yeah, just absolutely incredible figure, and I cannot wait for the Tyrannosaurs to come, because I cannot wait to have the adult Triceratops going toe-to-toe with my Tyrannosaurus Rex figure. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal figure. I can't recommend it enough. If you can afford this figure, go for it. If you can't, just get the sub-adult. There's really not all that much difference there in regards to quality. But yeah, just an absolutely incredible figure, and I can't wait to show you guys the next video I'm doing, which is going to be a full size comparison between all of the Ceratopsians. So yeah, I look forward to sharing that with you. So this is Saber Rex signing off, saying you're never too old to play with toys. Hey, be a toy nerd, be proud of it. Thank you, and have a good day. Bye.